Hey everybody, this is our first Chambered Effects podcast, and today we'll be talking about Avengers Endgame.
If you don't count the other shit where we just talk at the camera. We've done that once.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just glorified podcasting.
Yeah, we're just with a visual podcast, I guess.
I mean, you're recording right there.
This is
Visually.
No, there's we still have the
There's
visual
such
part.
things, they exist.
All right. So we're gonna give our thoughts and opinions on it.
What are our feelings?
Shane, why don't you start off with the feelings?
You guys still have feelings?
It made me feel sad, and then happy sad, and then sad, and then happy, and then happy sad.
I was
In
fully
that
wrecked
order.
the
And then
entire
sad,
time.
happy. In that order.
Tyler, you were saying how much it made again?
Yeah, I thought we were recording that. And we're not going to
Put
edit
it
this.
in the thing.
Yeah, he's like, we
No,
don't want to
I'm
edit
not-
this, so
I
trying to
don't.
get it up as quickly as possible. Okay.
I'm not gonna edit.
Oh snap! Avengers Endgame crushes 1.2 billion plus global, 859 million overseas. Bow. I don't know what that means. It just says bow.
BOE?
Overseas BOW. Bow.
How much was it though? What was it?
1.2 billion global.
Wow.
859 million overseas.
Holy crap.
Obliterates all-time records.
I mean, I guess that's what happens when you have a movie like Infinity War and the anticipation kind of helps build up to it.
Well, yeah, that's
get
the
bigger
thing
every
is
time.
that this movie, you could look at this movie as a part two to
It is.
Infinity War.
It's a part two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I have to see where I'm gonna I gotta watch probably at least Infinity War and this movie back to back.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
kind of how I was feeling.
I'd like to do it
It's only like 6 hours of your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
more. Where I'd like to probably do it with some of the probably from Captain America through Civil War to, if I ever got the chance, so that I can really kind of figure out where everything ranks. But I can foresee myself not really necessarily separating this movie a whole bunch from Infinity War.
You really only have to watch the 2 Ant-Man movies and then this one. You'll get the whole story.
Yeah,
But basically considering them kind of this same movie more or less.
yeah, because not getting into the spoiler territory yet, but the way it kind of started, everything happened.
Spoilers.
Kind of just really
Things
quick.
happen in the movie. Josh, God,
The movie exists.
I wanted to find that out for myself. Thanks a lot.
But yeah, in the beginning, it kind of happened really quickly. So I'm wondering if,
Like that, almost.
Some might say, yeah, just like
it.
that.
I'm wondering if watching it back to back would kind of transition well, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, does it pick up
because-
right
Well,
at
it
the
kicks up
remember.
literally as I felt honestly when that scene
Actually,
the first scene came on,
yeah.
I thought this was a trailer. It felt like this was going to be.
Oh, really?
It felt like a trailer for another movie. The way it just kind of
for the
I had
introduction,
seen
with the introduction of
the
everybody.
way it
in its
started,
way.
yeah.
I had seen the way it started, not
the
the
opening
end
scene.
of it, but the little bit with that
Well,
one hero.
It's in the
It's in the trailer. Yeah, that part's in the trailer. So I knew the movie was starting when I saw that character doing what he was doing.
I think we could be a little more specific. Than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hawkeye
Because-
is on the start of the movie.
Yeah, we all know Hawkeye's in the movie.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
if you saw the trailer, it's that scene is
yeah,
at the start of
The
it.
way the scene started, I felt like I was watching another trailer because it just kind of flashed on.
Yeah, it
and
didn't
just
do the typical
Yeah.
Marvel
Yeah.
Studios.
Yeah.
Well, it did that. It just did it after. There's a
Yeah.
cold open
Yeah.
with Hawkeye.
I almost wonder if there's going to be a thing. I'm pretty sure there is. So with Star Wars, there's certain ways that people have come up to watch the movies,
Machete order?
like
you mean?
not in chronological order
okay.
Yeah,
necessarily.
machete order.
I'm waiting, even if it's between just the Avengers movies or
So you watch Captain America
all
and then
of the Marvel movies, if someone's going to come up with a way to
in canonically chronological.
I
order.
guess, yeah.
But you can't watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. You couldn't watch just put it on 2 screens with
Yeah, because that's kind of
Infinity War.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's happening slightly before, isn't it?
I mean, you could.
Yeah, I guess
you could
Infinity War was
argue
like
it happened
24 hours.
slightly before, because
And they
there's
probably took a day off between.
there's no time for the end credit scene.
You know what
Yeah.
I would like to see? I would like to see all of the post-credit scenes in some type of chronological order at one point. Just the
That's
end
like
credit
its own
scenes
2-hour
themselves.
movie.
I know.
Well, going with your order, you can do a certain order where it's only the Infinity Stones. where like the first time you see it, and then next time you see the next one, and all those movies, because like
Yeah.
Movies don't have them.
Well,
Thor
there's
1, Iron
actually
Man
a plan-
1,
there's I think
The Ant-Man
22.
3.
I think there's like 22 or 25 Marvel Cinematic Universe
And there's
movies
only
out.
5 Infinity Stones.
Yeah, well, 6.
The first
6,
Iron Man
that's
doesn't have one, right?
That's right.
Hulk wouldn't have one.
No, Hulk
Hulk is barely in this movie.
No, I'm
like,
aware.
in that, like his own movies, I feel like barely a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like counts, but it was like back before they realized
'Cause
what
Iron
they
Man was
really
the
wanted
thing.
to do with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like a totally different guy. It was
Ed Norton, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Oh shit. That's right.
yeah, they
Oh,
bring
shit.
in I know his name. Who's the guy?
Fucking.
Who currently plays Hulk?
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah,
Oh,
Ruffalo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
He
of
did a good
him,
job.
I think he did a real good job.
So
It was
fuck, I can't say
weird
it yet.
for me. We'll talk about it when we get to
Remind
spoilers.
remind me because I have a thing about this.
About Ruffalo.
About specifically his role in this.
The
Yeah.
Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
The Ruffalo role.
The Ruffalo.
What were you saying, Tyler? You said something about Mark Ruffalo, and then
No, we'd have to get to that later.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did a good job. Chris Evans.
My
Rob-
man. My fucking man.
I was about to lean over to Shane while we were watching
didn't
it,
have
and
his
I'm
beard.
like, "Oh, hey, I wonder if
Tambor's fine.
recognized
He
him."
didn't
That's the first
He-
thing that came to my head. Are you
He
kidding
didn't have
me?
the beard. It's
Yeah.
fine.
The beard was non-existent.
The first scene was him shaving, getting the beard off.
Yo. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
just realized that.
Yeah.
we were talking about this on the way back a little bit. It's just so weird to see
People
Sorry,
with
such
beards.
a time
I
frame.
spoiled Captain America shaving for everyone.
It's so weird to see such a time frame of these movies go from what, like 2008 to present.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you see these actors and actresses kind of grow with their role. And it's just like some of them don't really necessarily age well. Like I remember seeing Chris Evans in not Jumper, Push, and even
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
and
Shit. Yeah, he
yeah,
is
Scott
in
Pilgrim and
he
Fantastic
started
Four.
in his mid 20s.
Yeah, like
he's pushing 40.
he looked so young back then.
He's pushing 40. Most of these guys are pushing
Like,
40, if
if-
not already in their
Isn't
40s.
Paul Rudd like damn near 50?
Paul Rudd is 50. He just had his
Yep.
50th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Who still looks fucking amazing. All that.
No, he doesn't age. We've established
Yeah.
this. Like, the
37.
internet has established that Paul Rudd does not age.
Chris
Chris
Evans is
Simmons,
only
37.
Yeah, but
Damn, he's barely
pushing
older than
30.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird because you think about the grand scheme of things where I guess Marvel wanted to go, and then in their whole thing with Disney buying them and whatnot, just like how wide of a universe that they created, and then with this movie, it kind of like comes to a certain point, and you're just
Brought
like,
it all together.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
just like, Jesus, this all happened like. I don't know. I think it was just planned out very, very well, in my opinion.
To be fair about the aging point, these movies were filmed back to back.
Yeah.
They were. So I think there was an intentional like point to make these people look pretty haggard because like
That's true.
They did get the shit kicked
like,
out of them.
Like in the story, like everyone like is pretty fucking unhappy.
Yeah.
And I think either there was a conscious effort to use less makeup or possibly even, I'm not a makeup artist in any way, but or possibly even use makeup to make and lighting to make them look
Yeah, definitly.
less good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
And there's.
I
we'll
guess
get
you
into
would
it.
use
To
more
be
makeup
fair,
to
I
do
think the
that.
point was to have them not look great.
Yeah.
But no, it's honestly like regardless of how anybody feels about these movies or the franchise as a whole or whatever, I personally think that at its worst, Marvel is meh and like
I would agree with
really
that, actually.
something else when it's at its best.
Yeah.
These movies at least. You know, but like regardless of how anybody feels, because I'll admit that these movies vary in quality from, you know, movie
Oh
to
yeah,
movie,
totally.
But I think what they achieved here, with this 10-year stint of movie making and keeping a consistent universe all the way through, for the most part, was an achievement in and of itself. And for these guys, for the Russos to like really end it in a satisfying way,
Yeah.
was like I think really just kind of a kind of like the I don't know, like kind of like the piece that kind of cinched this as the cinematic achievement that it was. Because there was a lot of points, like you got to think
Now
about
we'd
it,
never
endings
have
are
to watch
tough.
another superhero movie. Yeah.
Endings are tough,
Yeah.
right? Satisfying endings, even tougher.
Yeah.
But like considering these guys were juggling an ensemble cast and they had
all
kind
the
of
different
like,
running threads.
yeah,
and
and they had to
movies.
close off all these threads
for all the stories
for a
to kinda
universe
come
that
together
spanned
and,
10 years.
Yeah.
And they stuck the landing.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what
It's pretty
A Song of Ice and
impressive.
Fire
Like, I
is.
gotta say, they did a damn good job.
Yeah.
The Russo brothers wrote this, right?
That I'm unaware of, but I know they've been doing all the movies.
type in Endgame.
They've been doing Captain America: Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, Infinity Wars, and
No.
Endgame.
Russo's directed it. Stephen McFeely
McFreely, yeah.
and Christopher Marcus.
Okay.
Did you guys
wrote
not
it.
pay attention to the end credits? Come on.
We sat through all of them.
You guys.
There's a lot of people who worked on these movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is gonna be great because we get to see it autofill for Josh's porn habits.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you-
Didn't think of that one, did you, Josh?
Too bad we're not recording his computer screen right now.
We are, aren't we?
No.
No.
Oh, boo! We'll just call him out. What else is there to say?
There's Scarlett Johansson nudes going on around the internet. What?
I mean, I'm gonna go around each person, ask kind of their opinions.
How do we feel about?
It was good. I'm not gonna get into the movie making
Really?
aspect of
Yeah.
it or anything. Like
from like a general and like comic book stance,
As an
because you have more of that.
yeah.
You have more comic book experience with this kind of stuff rather than us. Like you've read up on comics. And,
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I liked it. I've seen more comic movies than I've read comic books, but
Mm-hmm.
like, it was a good movie. I probably liked Infinity War better if we're like comparing it to other movies.
Yeah.
It's no Ant-Man, but I mean, it's hard to do that.
If you haven't noticed, Tyler's favorite character is Ant-Man.
And also, I
We
like,
can get into that later too.
yeah, but those like the Ant-Man movies are really good in my opinion. This is kind of off track because like they stay small and that's perfectly fine. The stakes don't have to be save half the universe every fucking movie.
Literally stay small.
Oh fuck! I didn't even do that on purpose. Nice. But yeah, no, it was good. I like the movie. I do have problems with it, like, but we'll get into
Well,
that.
as any
yeah,
time.
yeah. Obviously, there's gonna be
No,
That's not the thing
Ant-Man
yet.
was perfect. I don't know.
From beginning to end, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, all
Yeah.
perfect.
Backtrack just a little bit. You said which one was your favorite again? Infinity Wars.
I like, the previous one better than
Compared to
Yeah.
the two of them.
Okay, compared
Yeah.
to the two of them.
Yeah.
But your favorite is? I just want to ask people what their favorite.
Oh,
is
my
in
favorite
general.
Marvel movie, Ant-Man for sure.
Ant-Man for sure. Okay. And what were you saying? Going back to you said you're unsure at the moment.
Ragnarok is also
I'm
very good.
100% unsure about like in terms of like comparing Infinity War to Endgame. I don't even know, like, because it's still possible where I'll consider them two separate movies. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be at all like
I feel
considered
that.
two things. But like I may very well get to the conclusion where I might just feel that they're part of one bigger story.
It was
I don't-
definitely like
Yeah.
one story
Well,
more
yeah,
than
but,
any
like,
other
I may
Marvel
not
movie.
necessarily like
Yeah,
judge it
this
on the
is-
merits of.
It was written like that.
I
too.
mean, there's definitely pros and cons. I have some of the like some stuff about this movie. Is as much as I enjoyed it, there's definitely some stuff that I'm a little like, and then the movie, it gets a little convoluted with some plot stuff and. But I mean,
Outside of those two movies, though, out of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe that
it's
we
tough
have,
to say because I
which
really
one?
enjoyed Captain America 2, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah,
Really enjoyed that. I think that's one of the most solid movies in like from a movie perspective. I think it's one of the most solid stories in the cinematic universe. It's tough because like that was the movie.
It was such a bump up from the first Captain America movie.
That is
too.
more
It was the
100%.
movie
Yeah.
that really turned me around on the cinematic universe
him-
version of Captain
Yeah,
America.
okay.
him not just being I do what's right all the time because that's
Yeah,
fucking-
like he just
Yeah.
kind of
because I'm
I don't know,
boring
he-
as fuck.
If again,
Slightly better than average man.
it just
Yeah.
felt he just kind of did more. He understood less, and
There
like,
was more of a story arc to Winter Soldier 2 than the first one.
Yeah,
Because
and-
the first one was really about
Punch
building
Nazis.
up who he was as a character, which
Yeah, well, it's an
which a
origin
lot of-
story, and
yeah,
origin
which-
stories are always. I mean, we got a million and one superhero origin stories in movies, but I don't know. It's tough because like I really enjoy actually where Thor's been going as a character.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But like his
Oh, he had,
doing it better.
he had such a great quote in this movie.
his
Oh my
movies,
god.
his movies are fuck awful for the most part,
Whoa.
minus Ragnarok.
All right, thank you.
Because I think they just kind of threw their hands up and said, "Fuck it" with Ragnarok. Let's just make
Fucking have fun.
Yeah. which there's nothing wrong with that. And I think honestly,
And plays Zeppelin.
Infinity War is one of his best movies.
Oh yeah. Like after.
Oh, like a yeah.
After Ragnarok.
And
yeah.
like so, like it's tough for me to say which one's my favorite because like I have favorite characters and they're ranked. The movie quality and the story quality varies. There's just so much to look at in this. So like I always find it really tough to even rank my own personal favorite movies alone. So to like kind of see this giant overarching story universe as like, oh, which one's better or worse? You know, but I guess if I had to pick, I'd say just Winter Soldier 2.
Yeah.
Or Winter Soldier. Like,
And that's the thing. Like, I remember when the first Avengers came out, and people were like, "Oh, they finally made a good Hulk movie." Like, Infinity War was like a Thor movie if you called it somebody's movie.
Thor
I'd say.
slash
It was-
Thanos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a Thanos movie, but like because it's broken up into like two different
you could
parts. It's
argue-
like Tony Stark and
You could
Thor.
argue that
Yeah.
Thanos was
Kind of
the
movie.
protagonist of Infinity War, but
Yeah,
I,
definitely.
I would say by that metric, Thor was also.
Yeah. I think that's a big difference between Endgame and Infinity War. Like Infinity War really was about Thanos, like you guys were just saying. Where Endgame it kind of all culminated back to the rest of the story
everything.
arc. and
The
kind of
survivors. Yeah.
developed itself on how it was going and
Which
how the story
would have needed to, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because essentially Infinity War was Thanos' origin story.
In a lot of ways.
You know,
In and of
actually,
itself.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I never.
I mean, we saw
like you saw
glimpses
glimpses
of
of
him.
him.
This
but-
was arguably more of Thanos' origin story. You saw more of like where he came from, technically.
No, because you had like the whole deal with like it was my home once.
Oh
And
yeah,
he-
you did have that.
Yeah, you had a lot more in.
But
the
like I
first
guess
movie.
like who he was as a person in that context.
And I'm just like I'm just comparing it to other origin stories in the cinematic universe and kind of like pinpointing certain lines where what Infinity War did for Thanos.
Right. Yeah, and he was a lot better in Infinity War than he was in this one.
Well, he was I mean, without giving away too much, he really wasn't in Endgame.
He was. It's just he's not. He doesn't have.
No,
the
I mean,
presence.
he
like-
was
he-
just
he
I'm
doesn't-
not as
quarter.
much.
I would
He's-
say a quarter.
He's not in it as much as
Yeah.
he was in Infinity War, but he was definitely a presence. But he doesn't have the same presence in this one.
No,
Yeah.
totally.
Like, and
Yeah.
I think there's a reason
gonna
for
get
that.
Yeah, we all know why.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm grabbing another drink.
I thought you weren't
Someone
editing
who
this.
Doesn't want to cut.
I know.
Yeah, but like
And
you're
no
the
one
one
explodes.
All right, so drugs are fun, kids. And now Josh has to edit.
So are Infinity Stones.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason for why I feel like he has a different presence in this movie.
Like I said, we all know the reason why he has a different presence in this movie.
We'll
I'm
wait
not
till we get
sure
to
I do
No, I know what Shane's saying. Like
from a character perspective.
he's
yeah,
very content in at least part of this, and also he acts differently.
yeah.
I'd say he does.
Door. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we could get into that, but
We will.
We're 20 minutes in.
We're 20 minutes in already.
Do we want to?
Well, we
'Cause I-
haven't.
Get Tamber and Josh's thoughts.
Oh, okay. So I guess what was the first question?
Just
Like
your
how I
thought
felt?
of
your favorite.
yeah. Well, in general, what do you think of this movie?
Buddy Yale, what's your
I
favorite
thought this
color?
movie was good. Going into it, I knew it wasn't gonna be the same emotional outcome for me as Infinity War. Just because I don't think people were expecting Infinity War to be. I mean, obviously people were expecting it to be really good, but like the way Infinity War left off and the way it kind of like just had us leaving the theater, I knew from the bottom of my heart Endgame would not be able to do the same. That being said, there were a number of points that did hit me in Endgame the way that Infinity War didn't. But that's only because
Yeah.
of where
Yeah.
everything
No.
was in the story and how the story progressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We'll get back to it.
I don't think I really have a favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It's really, really tough. Just because I really haven't seen a lot of them in so long. I think it actually might be the first Avengers movie though, because of how much I can relate to Loki as a character. Because in the end, to me, it doesn't matter how big your plans are. At the end of the day, you're the same as everyone
You're
else.
doomed to fail, yeah.
You're no, well, damn it. But no, like, you're given this character who tries to basically take over Earth, and has all these plans in his head, and he has such a wide vision of what he's doing, but then it gets trumped by these 4 or 6 people that come along, and the way it was presented at the end, it's just like, you are pretty human. Like you have human qualities about you.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the reason why the first Avengers movie is.
So you
I would definitely say first Avengers movie is my favorite.
okay? So you said the first Avengers movie, and then you said the Infinity War. Out of these two, you think?
Oh, that's tough because Infinity War, man.
I mean, it is kind of like one story. It's just
Yeah.
I mean, they are 2 separate movies. They should be judged as such, but like it does make it a little
Yeah.
bit more
Yeah.
complicated.
As far as 2 separate movies, I would say Infinity War definitely, but outside this story arc, the first Avengers movie for sure.
it's
would be my top one.
like these 2 movies being one story is like closer than Lord of the Rings movies being one story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I agree.
yeah. That's why that's why I say it's hard to really like
Yeah.
be like this movie before it was
Yeah.
definitely better because like it wouldn't be anything. Like this movie wouldn't be anything without the movie before.
And-
So,
I mean-
yeah. Were the Lord of the Rings movies shot at the same time?
No.
no.
Okay.
No.
Because I feel like that has a big impact
Yeah,
on
maybe.
how these 2 movies culminated themselves together.
Another thing was that I guess a lot of people will probably end up saying that like it didn't need to be 3 hours long. And
I was fine with the length. Like I was
Yeah,
never
I
bored.
would say that that's half right. I don't think it needed to be, but I don't think it didn't bother me.
It's
Okay.
not like
I was perfectly fine with the parts that we didn't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
I guess I
like,
didn't even notice there were parts we didn't need.
Well, I guess
There's
there
a lot
was a
of-
lot of character stuff that wasn't completely.
necessary.
It didn't have to be as long as what it was.
Yeah.
They
But
didn't
you
go
didn't
on a
feel like you were sitting there
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
There was no
Yeah.
45-minute detour to the casino planet
Oh,
for no fucking
boy,
reason.
Boy, there sure wasn't.
No, there wasn't a whole lot of necessary scenes, or like maybe necessary like 5 minutes within
I wouldn't
each
say
scene.
anything was strictly unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably trim it down,
Yeah,
but like
But
I
like-
didn't.
but-
I
but by
wouldn't
how
want.
much, though?
I
Like
personally
15 or 20
wouldn't
minutes?
want. I personally wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it
Yeah.
for what it was.
it definitely didn't feel like 3 hours, but
Yeah.
except for when we walked
And again, I
outside
gotta
and we're
watch it
like,
again.
oh shit, it's bright out.
I gotta watch it again because I mean I've watched like Last Jedi 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
since I saw it. I have actually kind of a bit of a drastically different opinion on that movie now.
What's the time on that? Is it over 3 hours for Endgame?
Endgame, it's 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh wow, it is over 3 hours. Shit.
Yeah.
Because those big opening credits were.
But I've sat
That's
through 3
fucking-
hours.
the trailers?
The trailers.
Were
I've sat-
ages. I had
Yeah.
shit to do after.
I've
Sorry.
sat through two 45s and that felt way longer than that movie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The do they count the credits towards the minute count?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
for sure.
But
Okay.
either way, they're all probably comparable credit length,
Yeah.
especially
Well,
when
yeah,
you
but-
factor in the if these movies had longer credits, this particular one doesn't have an end credit thing, so
Yeah.
Oh,
it
true.
all probably averages out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we can spoil that, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not.
There's nothing there to spoil. It's just
Yeah, I
not
guess,
there.
Yeah,
So you can walk out once you see.
If you really want to, you can be that.
I
Disrespectful.
recommend like watching the first.
I
like,
was.
the above the line is really nice because
I mean,
they have like
they do a little thing at the end.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
it's
a
not
little-
like an
We'll
end
talk
credit
about it
scene.
later. We
Yeah.
we have to talk about there.
It's not like there's nothing. but-
Yeah.
yeah.
Josh, thoughts? And
Um,
nobody cares. Moving on to spoilers.
I enjoyed it. When I walked out of that theater, I felt
Fully
like
erect.
I might as well have been. I just felt this weight.
I had an emotion boner.
Yeah, I had this weight on me that was just like, it wasn't like, oh, stress weight or anything. Like, it just felt like, all right, everything all at once just hit me, and I need some time to like just breathe, I guess.
And that's why we took a 3-hour break between the movie and now.
yeah.
Not that Tyler had a D&D game.
D&D, what's that? We play that?
Comparing
Not yet,
this
here we
one
go.
with the first one,
Portion and diggers.
What?
The portion and diggers.
Diggers?
Diggers, yeah.
You should have chose a better D word.
I suppose I should have.
um, comparing the first one to this one, I think I actually like this one better.
You're wrong though.
Because there's, I think, a couple moments in Infinity Wars where I'm just kind of like, all right, let's get on to the next scene. What?
No, I'm just thinking of one of the scenes.
Okay. I'm just kind of like, all right, let's get on to the next scene. This one, it was, I enjoyed I think every scene of it, whether it was a high like moment or a low moment, happy, sad, funny, whatever. So I actually think I enjoyed the second one better. This one.
Is that just because the characters you didn't care about didn't exist anymore?
Not necessarily. I like most of the phase 2 or 3 of the characters.
The ones who got snapped out in Infinity War?
Yeah, I enjoy a lot of their movies. I enjoy them. Because I like Ant-Man, even though he wasn't in the first one.
I thought he was used really well in this film.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Ant-Man,
Like,
yeah.
As a story.
We'll get to spoilers
I know,
about
I'm just saying.
For an overall Marvel Cinematic Universe, I had to go with Tamara on this one with the first Avengers movie, mainly because it was kind of that movie that kicked everything.
Yeah.
It was that movie that
It was the movie you
started.
knew like this was gonna be something. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna go somewhere with
Yeah.
this.
Full disclaimer, I got really, really spoiled when I saw the first Avengers movie. It was the first movie I saw in 3D. I won tickets or my friend and I won tickets to go see it, like come out, I think 3 or 4 days prior to its actual release.
Oh, I didn't know that.
shit.
Yeah, it was.
So that might
I mean,
skew it a little
it could
bit.
just be like I like Man of Steel more than most people, I think, because I watched it in IMAX in London and I was hammer faced.
But going back to what you were saying about how Infinity War kind of felt like pushed or like you wanted to get to the next scene,
Yeah.
right? I feel like that was not intentional for the whole movie's premise, but it's just like, you know, we all obviously know about Thanos. We know kind of what's going to happen. And I think there was this pressing thing going on in that movie where it was like, all right, come on, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going to happen next? Like
To be
how are we going to get here?
To be fair, I'm saying that because I've seen Infinity Wars a couple times, so like it's gotten to that point where like,
Oh,
I'm like,
maybe. Yeah, I've only seen Infinity War.
I also think it's
twice.
like a boil. Like the whole like idea was it's getting to that boiling point that we've been doing since the Avengers movies, like since the end of the Avengers like first film.
Mhm.
Like this idea of Thanos was in.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was the
He was in
build-up
that.
for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
the whole
he
thing
didn't
the
look the
whole
same, but he was
the
sure
whole
there.
attack
yeah.
on New York was Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
right.
they didn't really like show you him until like the end credit shit, but like,
Yeah.
I think maybe where you could have gotten a feeling like that is that I think the tension was supposed to build up to like we're really getting close to the Thanos shit now.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
Like I didn't even know who Thanos was before that end credit scene, if I'm being honest.
no, well that's fine. Like,
No,
but,
I
like they
didn't.
built him up at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
in Tony
Yeah.
through Tony Stark.
Yeah.
That like Thanos was a motherfucker. And
Yeah.
then you had a little bit of the Guardian stuff. You had a little bit of
Yeah. He was always in the background.
yeah. So
Also, Thanos has been played by 3 different characters or 3 different people.
actors,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes?
Well, the first one wasn't Josh Brolin.
No,
I
I
don't
know
who the- I don't
that.
know who
Yeah.
the second one was. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Second one was Guardians. The first Guardians movie.
Was a different Thanos in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that was different from the first one.
Which one? Sorry.
Um.
Well, you just looked
Just-
up
So
Josh
in-
Brolin.
It's in
Oh.
Guardians.
Oh, I see,
Yeah,
I see.
it's in
so-
Guardians.
It's in Guardians. Yeah,
The first one.
Yeah.
You could have left
yeah. You
Thanos
could have
actor.
literally just put
Yeah.
in-
You're right.
Josh's Google skills.
Trying to hide that porn.
It was that
Thanos
Thanos
porn.
porn.
Yeah. Did it go? You sure?
I'm,
nope.
Like
Right there.
I'm
Oh,
90%
yeah.
Well,
positive.
Josh Brolin has only played one. He wasn't the first one.
I would assume the first
I know
guy
for a
wasn't.
fact the first one was not Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Was that because he just looks so different
He-
Oh yeah,
well,
yeah, for sure. Like,
He's
different.
super different. Yeah, I don't.
In
There are at least two. There are at least two Thanos actors.
Yeah.
There are at least two.
They probably didn't even do a face guy for the end credits scene though.
I think the other guy was from True Blood.
Really?
Yeah, he was
Really?
Yeah, and not white. He wasn't like Josh Brolin. So like,
Huh.
yeah.
All right, well,
Doesn't
I
Josh
forget his
Brolin
name. So
Doesn't Josh Brolin also play Cable?
yes, in
Yeah,
not
he is.
the MCU, but now owned by Disney.
so
Anyway.
maybe.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
The Deadpool movies weren't owned by Disney,
Yeah.
but then like literally 2 or 3 years later, they were owned by Disney.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to Shane about this like last week or earlier in the week, where there's a meme of Mickey Mouse in like a black hood and cape. and
Josh,
he
put
has
the meme up. Just kidding, don't, because we're not editing this.
And he has the Infinity
And
Gauntlet.
he's also doesn't have the screen up.
And,
Oh, yeah.
We could all look and point and laugh.
Yeah.
and each of like where the pieces of the stones are, it says like Fox, Marvel,
Yeah.
and I forgot. I guess it was Fox at the time when Disney acquired Fox, because the stones that Mickey had, I think, were
No.
Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Marvel.
Lucasfilm is
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Well, / Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anyways,
Josh Brolin, man.
Lucasfilm, I'm pretty sure, is Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and that's it.
no, they've done other things. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Google Lucasfilms, Josh.
Yeah. What was
This is a sweet.
Steven Spielberg hasn't done it all, you know.
Pretty sure the only movies that Lucasfilm has in the name of the Star Wars movies.
Movies? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a whole lot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Labyrinth. Howard the Duck.
Holy shit, Howard. Wow.
There's not much else there, though.
No. It's a
Indiana
lot of Star Wars.
Jones.
American Graffiti. That's a big one.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah, I knew he directed American Graffiti. He did that before Star Wars, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Tails. That movie is on in history class sometimes.
I've never heard of fucking any of these things. What are these movies?
Red Tails is like the African American pilots in World War II, I believe.
Is it?
I believe so.
There's not much else.
Yeah, I can
Land
agree.
Before Time. And you said there's not much
Really?
else.
Oh my god.
They got Land Before Time on there?
Holy crap.
Where are you seeing that?
That was a good
Oh,
movie.
right there.
I don't know if it still is, though. I haven't watched it since I was like
I would guess the
7.
first one's still okay for a kid's movie.
long necks.
Sharp tooth.
Sharp tooth.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So we want to get into some
Yeah,
spoiler
yeah,
territory.
let's do it.
Now that we've got
Spoil the
sidetracked
fucking
enough.
shit out of it.
Are we gonna like
What-
try to go in order through the movie or
Well,
No, I think that'd
before
be
we
pretty tough
actually
because-
start getting into spoiler stuff, the spoilers that are out there have been crazy.
Okay, so the thing that I thought it got spoiled
Oh, yeah, Shane got-
was just a really good fake, but it wasn't that far off from what actually
Oh,
happened.
really?
So, hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, because was that the gift that you found?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It's a
dude.
really good fake.
Holy
because
shit.
it wasn't what happened exactly, but like the gist of it.
Pretty close.
It literally showed it for a second in like mid-tier quality, so it was enough where it was before the movie, and I was like, I don't want to watch that again, so I couldn't tell it was a fake,
Yeah.
and I just assumed
Yeah.
I got spoiled.
Yeah.
Which
So
I kind of did, but
real
not exactly.
quick.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
real quick. So there's been a shit ton of spoilers, like even before like
these
the
people
American.
know if they're watching
Yes.
us review it, they're aware that there are spoilers out
Yes.
there.
And people are hiding them in memes and gifs.
The
and
actors
they-
have been warning
yes.
again, telling people
So-
not to do it.
LaShawn
guy-
McCoy, if you're a football fan, spoiled it.
Some guy in
So
Hong
Shane,
Kong got beat
explain
up.
exactly. Yeah. Somebody got beat up
do you want me
in
to
Hong
explain?
Kong.
To be
for-
fair, he was right outside the movie theater.
True. Explain what happened and what scene that you thought it was.
Well, it's the very end.
Yeah, let's not talk about it until we get there. Let's try to spoil the movie in order, I think. Would be a good way to do it.
We can try.
Tony Stark dies! There. All right. Glad we didn't go in order.
Yep.
Wouldn't it have been better to go in order? I guess not. He's dead.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's a video, guys.
so
Yeah.
okay, so which came first,
The chicken or
the Hulk or Thor?
The Hulk.
For movies?
Or existence,
No,
'cause
In order
Bruce
of the
Banner
movie,
was
who showed
born.
up? Who showed up first, Thor or Hulk in the movie?
Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah,
Hulk. Okay, so the Hulk, the scenes with the Hulk. I've been informed that this is the Professor. This combination of Bruce Banner and
It was oddly similar. Like, it's a combination of Bruce Banner and
Yeah.
the Hulk. Like,
apparently in the comics that's the Professor.
it was
That's his name?
extremely
Okay.
similar
Okay.
to the Beast from X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I just
yes.
didn't.
He needs
like
to
it.
get no.
You didn't like that?
No. He needs to
No.
give back the scenes he stole. They're not his. Give them back. He stole those scenes.
Yeah, he was
Nah.
fucking hilarious.
It was funny, but it just.
Wait, who stole?
I really
Mark Ruffalo
like-
stole.
Yeah.
As the professor. Yeah.
I just really like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde angle. Like, I'm sad that we lost that, I guess. Not that we have the
Yeah, but
professor.
you had this really kind of sort of douchey Hulk, and it was like kind of really funny.
Yeah, like he was okay with being famous for being the Hulk. It was odd. He
Yeah.
accepted
I
himself.
remember that now. Yeah,
But yeah,
That's
so
what I felt about that.
I feel like that's who Mark Ruffalo, not so much as a person, but as like as the Hulk and Bruce Banner as a character has been all.
yeah,
along.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like this is
Well,
you, man.
it was
You
nice
do
to
you.
see. I couldn't really get into the Hulk in any of the other movies.
Oh
Like,
yeah, because
he was kind of a novelty to me.
Well,
Yeah.
Avengers, I liked him a lot.
Yeah, but he was still
first
kind of
one.
just a guy.
I liked
he was
him
either Bruce
in-
Banner or he was the Hulk.
I like
and neither
both
one
of
of those
those.
two characters were terribly likable to me.
Well,
I liked him in
Hulk
the
seemed more of a-
second Avengers
He seemed more of a
and
novelty to me.
I like
character.
the Thor movie, the third Thor movie.
Yeah, well, that's when they started actually characterizing him.
Yeah,
I like the big dumb barbarian who just smashes things and has
And that
fun.
was fine, but like to me, that seemed more like it's a one note like character.
yeah.
I didn't think it was fucking hilarious when he ragdolled Loki, but just like he's fun to watch smash stuff, man.
I liked seeing him in Ragnarok that way, like because that like it finally worked. for
Yeah,
me.
and he was like much more articulate in Ragnarok,
Yeah,
not as
it
much as
works.
this movie, but
It worked in that capacity, but I like seeing Bruce Banner in a capacity that I don't dislike him in.
Was he stuck as the Hulk in Ragnarok?
Yes.
Yes.
And then
and,
he wasn't.
and then he was stuck as not the Hulk.
yeah, and he was stuck as not the Hulk through Infinity War.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
literally the scene opens up with running into him as professor,
The
whatever,
professor, yeah,
the professor, and he's just
Professor Y.
he's just basically Bruce Banner, but just roided out.
And like confident
Yeah.
for once.
Yeah. And it's hilarious because like he's not like awkward, he's just like
He's just a douche.
He's actually kind of a little too confident in some
Yeah.
capacities,
Like he's
but
still goofy.
he's not Tony
goofy.
Stark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he definitely has a little bit of an ego with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Where he didn't have that before.
Yeah.
I thought what they did to Thor was fucking fantastic.
Like
Yeah.
when they saw when it was like, yeah, he comes up once in a while to pick up his supplies, and it cut to like the kegs outside his apartment. I was like,
Yeah.
he's gonna be
Like,
fat.
yeah.
Fucking
I
wild.
saw-
I didn't see that coming at all.
It was
wasn't
so
until
good.
he saw took off the robe, and then I saw the love handles on the back. I was like, I can't fucking believe this. And like they grounded the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And made him one of the most
It's the
seen
thing,
characters
like-
at the end of
like,
it.
Yeah, he just
Thor-
like starts out so over the top in like his movies, and then like through Ragnarok into
These
Avengers
movies
and into this movie.
retroactively make those other movies kind of better because it
Yeah,
at least
yeah, yeah.
gives him a
A
place to
character
start
arc?
and an arc to like.
Thor
Yeah.
has the most. I feel he has the most like development.
Oh
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Any
Now-
other character.
Now
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
even before, because in the beginning of the first Thor movie, he was like a cocky fuck.
Right, but he
Yeah.
doesn't
And-
stop really doing that until Ragnarok.
Yes and no. The second one, he was a lot better with it. No, he totally
The
was.
second one's like kind of a bad movie.
Yeah.
Well, the second one was kind of necessary, and that's the reason. I
It's
feel like that's the reason why.
necessary.
yes, it is. It
You
is
can make a
necessary.
necessary movie good.
Well, that's actually another point. Was I felt like in comparison to The Last Jedi was I think a really good way of taking a bad movie and a bad movie's story plots,
Mhm.
but still giving it respect to the fact that it is a movie in the chronological
Yeah.
order of the series. Because The Last Jedi didn't fucking do that, and I felt like that was kind of the most egregious thing that they did. Was like,
Yeah.
okay, these story plots that the last guy did aren't good. I have my personal feelings about that. I'm going to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do that in the most, I'm going in a different direction way possible. And I feel like in this movie, it was like, yeah, Thor Ragnarok, it's there, whatever.
Yeah.
Or Thor 2 was there. Dark World, whatever. And they even kind of was like, got invaded by elves or whatever. Remember when he starts telling them about what happened during Thor 2?
Yeah.
And everyone doesn't give a shit?
To be fair, he was also very drunk.
Yes, but that was this was the thing.
And
he was,
possibly high.
He was summarizing Thor 2
Yeah.
while just a drunken bastard.
Yeah.
And everyone's just going, oh boy. Like, I feel like that was kind of a thing like, yeah, Thor 2 sucked, huh?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like,
They do
I
lampshade a
think
lot of things,
I-
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Thor
true.
and Bruce Banner stole the scenes, like stole those
I know.
hilarious
See,
Oh,
scenes.
and
the scenes-
Ant-Man, thank
the
you.
scenes they're in, but I think everybody.
Ant-Man's
had a-
good, but I don't think he stole.
I don't know.
any
I think
scenes.
they used him really well. In this.
Yeah.
They did. They definitely did. He's
He's
a
just
lot of-
always
he was
the
really
straight
just
man.
fucking.
he gets out of the quantum realm, by the way. Yeah. So
Well, obviously,
yeah.
you see him in the trailer.
right. But here's the thing: he gets out because a rat hits a switch.
Dumb,
Yes.
but like whatever. The universe finds its way.
Life
Yeah,
finds a way.
the
there's
but
other dumb things I want to talk about.
I think
but-
they
things.
did a good
definitely
job
dumb
with
things.
Ant-Man because a lot of the whole
how he kept saving the world over and over. He's the greatest.
exposition, like dialogue between time travel and all that stuff, they did it well because he's a funny like character, and he kind of like when he first shows up, he's very anxious and running around, and he is trying to explain things, but he does it
'cause
in a
he's-
funny way.
Because he's
So
Paul Rudd, like
Yeah.
like
The
Paul
most
Rudd- I
likable
feel
guy
like-
in the world.
I feel like Paul Rudd doesn't necessarily have. Granted, I haven't seen too many Paul Rudd movies, but Paul Rudd's just himself in his movies for the most part, in my opinion.
And he's a sleazier version of himself, I think, in these movies. But
Yeah,
Sleazier?
a little. I mean, he was a thief.
And who hasn't stolen shit?
yeah, but it was for the greater good.
Not in the.
nah, not the first
First
one.
man.
Trying to get shit for his daughter, man.
Well, yeah. All right. We don't got to.
I wouldn't
I
say
mean,
the greater good.
Like he wasn't like
Just
the most.
good.
reputable-
I'm not
Yeah.
saying, look, I'm not saying Robin Hood, but like he had a purpose.
He's
for
a
the
couple
most part.
steps away from Robin. But yeah, no, I mean, I think everybody had like, I think that definitely Thor and Ragnarok stole the show when they were there for their initial reveals.
Yeah,
But I think everybody had some really good character stuff
Yeah.
in this movie,
Mhm.
and I think that's why like even though Infinity War might be like kind of a more interesting movie, this movie had me like just like on the verge of like so many emotional moments. Like,
Yeah.
I almost lost it at a couple of these things. Like it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Are we moving on from like character introduction surprises to the
Just-
actual plot?
Anyone can
Yeah.
say anything. It doesn't matter.
The splitting up and going back in time and getting the MacGuffins thing, like I really didn't like it as
The MacGuffin stones.
like the bulk of the movie.
Time heist.
Yeah. Also, it should have been Avengers Time Heist. Change the title
Yeah.
screen.
It took me until they got until like where Iron Man was dressed up in the SWAT costume and stuff to be like, oh my god, it's a time heist. Even
God, it's
though
Avengers Time
Iron Man
Heist.
was going on about a time heist, I was like, yeah, man, whatever. And then I was like, oh my god, this is a heist movie right now.
The like, I just didn't like that as being the bulk of the movie, not. Dealing with Thanos.
That's the padding part that I think.
Oh yeah, Thanos dies like 3 minutes.
Oh
in.
yeah, we didn't even talk
Yeah.
about that.
Present Thanos dies.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
Thanos dies.
So the reason why
He gets better.
like Thanos didn't have as much of a presence in this movie because he literally dies 3 fucking
Well,
minutes in.
No. Well, yeah, literally speaking, yeah. But my thing was like because we then get introduced to a Thanos that's 9 years or younger.
Yeah.
Apparently 9 years of genocide changes a man because
Yeah,
I felt like he was a very different Thanos.
it could have been just like
Like the world weary, like battle weary, like almost feels like he really like I felt like in Infinity Wars he felt like he like almost didn't actually have the energy to go through with what he was too tired to do, and he didn't really want to do it, but deep down he had that iron will to do it and see it be done, and that was where his mind was at. But there was a sense where he was just like, if he
did
really
kill his
wishes
daughter
he
in
didn't
Infinity
have
War.
to do this, but he's going to because it must be done.
Yeah.
Which gives an air of like empathy or sympathy to him, which makes you almost like him.
That's true because that
Almost
wasn't there.
like him.
That wasn't there in this
But
movie.
in this movie, he was just a megalomaniac,
Yeah.
bad guy. And he still was pretty all right, but it didn't have that like thing that like the first one had.
I guess, yeah. I mean, not so much like, I don't even think it's so much of like the 9 additional years of genocide, but it's the fact that, like you were saying, he was in Infinity Wars. He was there. Like, he was there the entire time. Like, he had his goal. Like,
Right.
he knew he was going to achieve his goal.
And he still had that goal in this one, though.
But he wasn't as nearly as close for the
Right.
period of time that we've seen him.
But
to
it's,
accomplish.
I guess maybe the time, but I'm thinking the time it took to actually get to that
also
point.
like
yeah.
I'm justifying it in my head why he's
Yeah.
such a very different, has a different feel to him in this movie.
and he could have been like written similarly, and he could have just lost a lot of gravitas because Thor beheads him like 2 minutes into the movie.
Yeah,
Like we
maybe.
would have been like, oh, well, he is
I just
super
didn't-
beatable then.
I just
guess.
didn't get that. It wasn't even about him being beatable. It was like I said, there was this almost like you almost got the sense that he wasn't actually like really keen on doing what he was doing, which made him sort
In
of
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one he was like, nah, I'm fucking killing you all.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'm killing you all, and I'm building a new goddamn world, and no one's gonna even know your name. That's a far, granted, because he lost technically in that, but he didn't lose. But remember, at the end of Infinity War, he fucking tells Stark that he respects him. This one he was like, nah, fuck you, Stark. I'm killing you. I'm fucking making a new world, and no one's even gonna know you lived. Yeah. It's like, so it was kind of like, I imagine
fought Stark at that point.
I'd imagine that's probably
that's true.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, I think in my mind at least, the younger version of Thanos was a little bit different than the Thanos we met in.
You're a few thousand years old, and those last 9 years really ages you.
This is the only way I can
what I
justify
want to bring
it.
up. Though. He got a glimpse of the future. He already knew his destiny.
Well,
not any further than Nebula did, though.
Yeah.
Well,
he called it his destiny.
Right, but
and I think he at least was fine with what happened.
Yeah, he was very much a person who was like, I have this goal and it's going to be done. And when he saw that goal, I think he realized like, I'm going to win anyways. Maybe. And was just super aggressive about it.
Maybe.
What, in this movie?
Yeah, because
apparently he's a lot closer to the Mad Titan version of the comics in this one.
Yeah.
Especially by the end there when he's just like, I'm just going to fucking...
All right, just everybody then.
Yeah.
Which there are big differences in the comics, but whatever.
I just think these are almost two different characters in a way. It might be a little much to say, but like, I just, there was an air that the other Thanos had. Maybe I'm crazy, but there was an air to him.
No, he was definitely different.
Was not there.
He was definitely different in this movie for sure.
I think it's
like,
because
even
of
before the final fight, I got that.
Yeah, but not enough for it to be like a problem for me.
No,
like,
it wasn't a problem. He's still a good character, still a good
Yeah.
antagonist. It just didn't have that extra thing that really made me almost like Thanos. Because I'm not a villains guy, but like I almost liked Thanos for like being a villain.
I definitely respect the villains in a lot of ways. Like Genghis Khan's my boy in real life, and like I understand like Thanos being like, I've got to save the world. This is my goal in life, and then just going out and walking over to people to do it.
I had more sympathy for that than I did for.
That's what I mean. Like I can respect that. Yeah, and this one he was just kind of a little different, but not like.
It was enough to basically go, no, that guy needs to die.
Yeah.
As opposed to this one, where it's just like, I really wish you weren't a dickhead.
Do you think that? And I know I'm kind of going off on a limb. Do you think that the younger Thanos,
the 9 years, just like Tyler said, thousands of years,
knowing what he knew, like, okay, he knows he's got to get the gauntlet. He knows, seeing everything that he saw from
having
Nebula,
the information that the Thanos that we knew in Infinity War didn't have.
Do you think that Thanos would have destroyed the Infinity Stones
after he was done? No, because he had to create his own Earth and then be God over it.
Mm-hmm. He decided against that by the end.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Like he kind of veered off into a different. He started.
Yeah, I guess like seeing like his plan like couldn't work in his original idea of it. Maybe that's why he veered off.
But like the thing is, like he was like the way he veered off was where he started. He just never, I feel like, veered into the Thanos we knew.
Yeah,
and just continued being the Thanos he was.
Like trying to retroactively fix things made Thanos worse in that timeline, and then like we'll get into the time travel shit because I had problems there.
Well, as any story with time,
the thing, but like okay,
like Captain America cucked himself in the past.
We'll get there. Yeah,
because there's two Captain Americas. There has to be.
Yeah,
we saw the double versions in the movie.
I wonder if he went up there and like looked at himself in the eyes, like
that's not true.
Sucks for you.
That's not true. Why because not?
Captain America literally fought himself in the past.
Yeah,
it's super true.
Back to the 70s, what? Right?
Yeah, he went back to the 70s
to put the stone
and
back.
And then he went back even further at the end.
He went back to. So
did he go back further?
The whole thing is,
it was like 50s cars.
Yeah, but she would have been much older than 70s.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Let me explain real quick. So basically, the whole story was like they had to go get the Infinity Stones from the past and pull them out of the past timeline, and by doing that, it would have like really fucked up the timeline. So Captain America goes back to replace it, but when he does that, he goes even further back to his like original like
to be an
70s.
He bounces around time a bunch, puts him back where they took him from, and then instead of coming back to the present, he goes back to 1950 or whatever and lives with.
Yeah,
I guess it was like the 30s.
Carter.
He's in World War II.
He's
World War
It's
II.
two.
None of that
World
sentence
War
was
One was
correct.
way before. Okay. I'm drunk.
alright.
Ignore me.
It's all right. But yeah, he just goes back and like finishes living it. So by the end of the movie, they like see him as an old man in the present time. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he's
That was
retired.
actually really, really good CG. By the
It
way.
was CG then. I don't know if it was a different actor.
Yeah,
Nah,
no,
it
they
was
used
just that good
They
CG.
went under.
Yeah, that
they,
was
some
really good
CG
fucking
bumped
CG.
up with facial shit because like there's all these movies. They made Nick Fury young. They made Hank.
Yeah,
Pym
they're doing a
young.
good job.
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right,
Oh,
the
yeah.
funny part. No, because you meet Howard Stark. Well, Tony does, and he's like
And
to
we, as
Tony.
the audience.
He's like, you're not one of those beatniks, are you? And then like a few minutes later, it cuts to Hank Pym, who's like got the long hair and everything, and like historically they don't get along.
You
It's pretty good
laughed really
stuff.
hard at something. Oh, when we'll get to that, I guess. But
I don't even remember.
it was when Ant-Man. It was the final scene. Ant-Man gets really big and punches the big fucking.
Oh yeah, just fucking the big worm things from the first Avengers. Ant-Man gets huge and just fucking juices one.
That was great. That was fucking.
Speaking of that,
Great.
when Ant-Man actually runs into Hulk the first time, Hulk is making fun of him, and he's like, "Oh, look at the tiny man," or whatever. There was no line, because everyone starts making fun of him after that point. There was no line when he got huge where he was just like, "Who's the big one now?" or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
He's
you
pulled
wanted-
run because he doesn't fucking need it.
You wanted him to have a moment where he just shoved it in Hulk's face.
But no, that's one of the things. Yeah, when he like lifts Hulk out of the rubble,
I mean,
and it's
Hulk
like,
could still probably fucking bench him. So like,
I mean,
whatever.
sure.
but that was a problem that I came to have with Ragnarok, and people we know have, is that there was no like every like serious scene had to end with brevity in Ragnarok, and it
Yeah.
didn't have that in this. For sure.
It was
Yeah.
a little much at
Yeah.
times with Ragnarok. Overall, I don't think it was the biggest problem, but it was definitely a little much.
Yeah, you know, like Thor will make like a grand speech or something, and then throw a ball out a window and hit himself in the
the
head with it.
Marvel
It's like,
comedy was like at
Yeah.
As far as like the whole comedic timing and like comedic points of this movie, it made me feel so tense until that scene with the Hulk in the diner. When,
oh, it needed it.
Yeah, it
We
definitely.
needed it.
Yeah.
because at that point I was like, all right, this doesn't feel like
Everything
and
was very
this
grim.
feels very
Possibly
very different.
Some of the most natural comedy to come out of Marvel in a long time, actually, too. Like it didn't stick out. It wasn't manufactured. It wasn't from a situation.
like sometimes you see him setting up jokes like
yeah,
two lines
like,
away.
they set him up.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, no. I mean, where Thor goes with it, I said before that I really like where they've been taking Thor, and I stand by the fact that kind of like Infinity War is like, or Thor Ragnarok. A lot of people like to write that off as like, oh, it's a stupid funny movie or whatever. But it's really important for Thor's character in Infinity War, where he's at in that.
Yeah, yeah,
capacity.
because
Oh,
he jumps from what Avengers 2 to how he is.
Well,
in-
that's the
Ragnarok?
last time we saw him.
yeah.
before
So
Ragnarok.
like he was this kind of serious character, and then jumps to
Well,
what he
wasn't
is.
Civil
If
War
you didn't have
before
Ragnarok,
He wasn't in Civil War.
Yeah, but he wasn't in it. The last time we saw him was in Avengers.
Okay.
But
Thor's got
even
other
the
shit
serious,
going on.
but the serious side, but like the seriousness, like aside,
Mhm.
His role in that universe, his father dies. He loses his father. He learns he has a sister. Has to kill the sister.
His mom dies.
Doesn't kill his
has to give
sister.
up his mom dies.
His
in
mom
two.
dies in two.
His mom
Yeah.
dies in twos, and that's apparently like the most important thing from
That's
two.
right.
Other
That's
than
all you
where-
need to
other
know
than
about
I haven't
where
seen these movies in
the
so long.
ether is,
And
but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Ether.
Yeah.
I got
So-
you back, Shane.
So he loses his mother, which is kind of significant actually. I forgot. He loses his father. He loses
His brother, actually.
in Infinity War.
Like, yeah.
So he loses his home. He's a prince too. You
Yeah.
got to remember he's effectively a prince.
And his token black friend.
Yes. He loses his friends, which he doesn't seem to really care about that too much. But,
He's pretty much
so
lost
then he has to
everything.
take on this like wayward
Oh,
group of
I just
people.
thought of something.
What?
Yeah, we weren't sure if Thanos killed all of, or even Valkyrie, or all of the other Asgardians actually at the beginning of Infinity War until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know about that.
I didn't know about Pepper Potts. I was wondering if she was going to be alive.
That's true.
Well,
and
yeah,
that was
that
one of the things I was like, oh yeah, she
There
is alive. It's fine.
the last trailer they had Pepper Potts in it.
no, I didn't even
Yeah.
notice.
But
Reasons why we don't watch trailers.
Yeah, I was like, it happens in like the first like 30 seconds, and I'm like, oh fuck.
he
Like,
kind
I
of
learned it from you, Josh.
yeah.
he kind of has to like he has to become like this like leader for his people all of a sudden too. He loses the eye and all that, and
Yeah.
he just gets knocked off his fucking pedestal.
Yeah.
Like, and then in Infinity War, it starts off. He gets even knocked off it even further. He has to kind of like humble himself when
In his defense, he handles it much better than Hulk until this movie,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which they kind of
But
reverse
like
actually.
he doubles.
Oh, yeah,
da-
that's true.
He handles it by doubling down on how he's always kind of been, which is like I believe I literally can't lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And like he's just gonna go back and hit Thanos harder, and you know he has that moment where he like tries to savor the victory,
Mhm.
and he didn't kill Thanos, and Thanos killed everyone.
half.
So he kind of falls into a depressive state. In this movie, gets actually fat.
yeah,
I didn't
It's pretty
even.
good
I
stuff.
did not think they would do it.
it was fantastic.
And then like
They call him the Big Lebowski, and it's accurate.
Yeah,
they straight up
100%.
referenced the Big Lebowski in one of the scenes. He's just the
Yeah,
the
the
Thorbowski,
dude.
like, but like he kind of like, and then the scene with his mother, I thought was great. When
Yeah.
he meets
Yeah.
his mother, it was fucking fantastic. Like that had me going, and you know, I kind of respect the choice for him not like ever getting not fat too.
No, it was weird because like when he had his
When he was
Thor
at his armor
on,
and
his
he's
Thor
fighting
armor
Thanos
was still
as
shredded.
like a chubby. No, but he had the little.
I know,
the
but his
the
arm
gut.
and the gut,
Yeah.
but his arms were still shredded.
The stuff and the fact that he was kind of okay with Captain America using his hammer.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
It was a
that
big-
was
Yeah, that was
that
cool.
was a I
I'm
don't know,
normally
that
not a
was
big fan of
twist.
that kind of thing, but it was actually.
What drove me
good.
nuts about it, honestly, what sealed the deal for me was when literally in the middle of the big fight scene, Cap is using Stormbreaker and somehow
Yeah,
Cap
they
has
get him switched
Stormbreaker
up.
Yeah.
and somehow Thor has Mjolnir again. He goes, no, you give me that one. You can have this one.
I want the big one.
Yeah, and I was like, that's great. This whole thing, whatever this is, it's great now.
There was actually a lot of nods to the comics in this one, like because at a certain point, Captain America holds Mjolnir.
Well, different people do it in the comics too.
This is true.
Not necessarily.
There's a scene with Captain.
And I think
guess
that
it's
really
with all
worked,
Captain
honestly,
America.
because of the little piece of it in the party scene of Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I really probably wouldn't have accepted it as well if I did.
Yeah, yeah,
If I
yeah.
didn't
It
know
was
that-
set up,
If
like,
I didn't
years
know
ago.
he already kind of had the capacity to do it.
That's where I was confused because at that point Thor was just kind of like, "You're all not worthy," and then but like to see the smile on his face when he
Growth.
fucking picks
Yeah,
it up,
yeah.
Growth.
I'm just like, "Shit, okay, that's
Well, that's
a
like
thing
by the
now.
end he accepts that like he's not really meant to be in a leadership role. And I think like I said, I respect
Yeah,
the
he's
fact
a much-
I respect the fact that they didn't make him not fat at any point. They ended with him being fat and they gave him like a room to move.
That quote,
I'd like to see him lose
that
the weight
quote
again.
at the
but-
end of the movie when he fucking said,
Fuck you, Thanos! I'm here to chop your dick off. I loved it too.
when he said,
Bring me Thanos' dick.
"I'm done." I'm done being who I was meant to be, and I think I'm gonna start who I want to be.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, whole like
The
that.
yeah, that's actually a really interesting point to bring up
That hit
because
right here.
we don't have any kind of confirmation on a Thor movie, but he's going to be end up being in the Guardians movies now.
Well, is that
Well, that's how they set it
confirmed?
up.
He just
Yeah.
left on the ship with them.
I'm going to assume that because, like, as we were bringing up earlier, he kind of started with Ragnarok. It kind of felt Guardians of the Galaxy, like that kind of
Yeah,
thing
in
where
that
it's
shit.
like-
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So, like, his transition to that movie, and I assume he's going to be in those movies,
They've
is
definitely
going to
made
be a
him a
lot
character that
better.
fits better in that.
Right. So I think that's like I think it's a good
Maybe.
choice.
We'll see.
I mean,
Do we
we'll see.
know if Hemsworth is staying around for their next bullshit?
I hope so.
I don't see why he wouldn't. I'm not. I haven't heard anything of him being like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done."
They wrote Downey out and they wrote Evans out for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So like, I guess I would assume unless
Let's see how well Men in Black goes.
Black Widow's dead too. She had to when
Yo,
yeah, Gamora.
that scene was another.
I wanna- I wanna-
man.
So that scene. So they have to go get the Soul Stone, and the only way they can get the Soul Stone is if they sacrifice.
One of them falls off the cliff like Gamora did.
Yeah.
I thought that they were both going to do it and they would both be saved and everything would be fine.
And then Red Skull would walk back.
Well,
Yeah, no.
more like
Like,
some,
hey.
some loophole in the fucking like Soul Stone like law was like, oh, selfless sacrifice works for everyone. Here you go.
You're both half alive now. And they zombified walk back.
Now the thing is like. In those moments, like they have like a fight to figure out
Yeah.
who's going to be sacrificed. There's
Actually-
moments like that in other movies that it's like playful and fun, but this one seemed off.
Yeah, I mean,
I laughed during it because, like, I just thought it was
I
going to
did
be
at
like,
first.
like it could have gone on for like half an hour and been hilarious, where like one pulls the other back and one explodes the other, and they
Yeah.
shoot across the room, and
I
then one
would-
tasers the other.
I kind of wanted that scene to work, but like I don't know
It,
how
it
well
did feel a little strange.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at first I was like, that's funny, but then as it kind of kept going, I'm like, I don't know where you're going with this.
And then you got to the literal cliffhanger of the scene,
yeah.
and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I really didn't know who was going to fall though. It was Black
I
Widow.
was-
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
Yeah.
at
I
least.
had honestly, I had difficulty figuring out who was going after who in like the first few seconds
Well,
when they
what's-
started fighting.
I also have
Because
another
the relationship
problem.
was never really like fully established
No.
through any of these movies.
They were
No, it
friends
was.
and close.
Yeah, they
were-
Like,
Like, she was the only person who was like friends with Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's about as much
and
information we
arguably
have.
still,
Yeah.
like Hawkeye's just kind of like that guy who they know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's particularly close with anybody else.
But
Apparently,
another thing
like
is
you-
too.
apparently Scarlet Witch, but you know,
Like he leaves at 9 from the office drinking party.
yeah.
the other thing is too though
never get a read on
is
that guy.
Scarlett Johansson is going to be in a prequel movie.
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, oh, it's a prequel then.
For Marvel,
For Black Widow, yeah.
Right.
really?
She's supposed to be getting her own movie.
They're gonna
But-
have to use that facial technology.
But it's the weirdest thing is like she's already dead, so why do we care? Like
It can still be a good
Star
plot,
Wars
it
man.
could still be a good movie.
No one ever asked for a solo movie, but we fucking got it.
I think part of
I wanted a solo movie. I just didn't want that solo movie.
Which was another issue in itself.
yeah, I mean, it, like I said, it definitely has its low points, but like the low points, I think at worst were kind of like, speaking of that fucking gratuitous nod to the money shot of Captain America Captain America Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the elevator
The
scene.
elevator scene.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, that was
And then
Ugh.
the nod to the comics from when
Yep.
Captain America went Hydra for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hail Hydra.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was talking about, lampshading stuff, because he like
Yeah.
pretends to be in Hydra. to
That
get
like it
one of the
was because
stones.
that was the Russo's first movie, and that was like the shot of the Russo's first Marvel movie. Not their first movie ever, but their first.
Oh, I did not know that,
Yeah,
actually.
Captain America 2 was the first movie that they started. doing.
Because that basically was the scene in the Captain America 2 movie, right?
that was the one that like was the
It
big selling
was
scene.
the elevator.
it was the scene, but it wasn't timeline that scene.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
like,
okay.
there was no fight either.
Yeah.
It was just similar to that.
He
scene.
diffused it by saying "Hail Hydra."
Yeah.
But like I feel like if it was a little bit less self-aware, I would have been a lot more like about that scene.
Yeah.
Nah,
It came off as just a very big like.
Nah, I think it was a good job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have liked to have seen it be maybe a little less self-aware of it. You know,
That was
especially
fine.
since Captain America has literally already been in that situation. But
Maybe that's why the scene was done the way it was done.
yeah, I don't know. That's my take on it. But
No, I think it was done well because like it was just like he just goes Hail Hydra, and then the next moment it's just like see you guys. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
wow,
not-
shit, good
Yeah,
job.
That was a little awkward the way that was, I guess, written, but because it was
I
just
thought it was
like
fine.
Nah,
Like, he knew it would work.
Yeah,
He bluffed his way
because
out.
he knew they were
rolled
all
high.
Hydra.
that
People,
is
so-
America's ass after all.
America's ass.
America's number one preferred ass.
Let me think.
What else do we got?
Um,
Should we get into the time travel bullshit?
yeah.
yeah.
Whoop-de-doop-de time travel.
Nebula shoots past Nebula in the chest, and they did a really good job of actually like trying to avoid like paradox shit. But Nebula just shoots herself in the chest, and there's no consequence.
None.
Right.
This is no. Okay, so that brings me to like a thought I had about it, where it was like at the beginning, it was like we got to be very careful not to disturb anything in the past.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody see you. Don't let anybody know who you are. Don't talk to anybody. Don't let them see you. Blah blah blah. And this is like, fuck.
By the end, it was like, oh,
Everyone fucks that shit up.
Yeah.
Like to the point where Thor was like, "I'm just gonna go talk to my mom," and Thor's mom was literally
but
like,
no, like even with
Thor's
that,
mom literally was like, "You're from the fucking future."
bad from the future. But no, like even
He's like, "I'm from the future."
even a lot of those could have been like without consequence. Like it's right before Thor's mom dies, and like some of the other ones, like
The
Yeah, a
one
lot of
Captain
them.
America knocks himself out.
the one with Chris Evans, when he walks up and he's literally just like, oh shit. That's when you're just like, okay, so this is gonna happen now. Like this is actually gonna be a thing.
Yeah, it's actually, speaking of that, not specifically that scene, but when he was like, "Oh, I found Loki," and he's just like, "No." The Loki did a fucking fantastic job with just reacting.
Yeah, he didn't.
Oh,
He doesn't
yeah.
actually say anything in this.
No.
No.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he
shit.
does. He does though. He just repeats the lines.
Yeah, there's lines from the previous because they
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
go
from the
back and
previous.
visit it,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
funny because the
That's
trailer.
also something that they did phenomenally. I thought was
Yeah.
kind of deconstructing the pose shots from the other movies.
Yeah.
like the after you get that big pose shot at the end of Avengers, it's just like, okay, all right, we gotta go do things now.
Yeah.
And then there
Somebody
was
handcuff him.
the Guardians, like the intro to Guardians 1 with
Yeah.
Which I knew was gonna happen.
I was like,
I knew the music was gonna cut out.
yeah.
It
He's
was
just
so
singing to
fucking good.
himself with no music.
Come and get your love.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
I wonder if those shots were like actually taken from when they initially shot them.
I think for consistency purposes,
Some of them.
Yeah, I bet some were,
like
some
the Avengers shot where it's like it circles around. They definitely
That
took
was
that.
just
But
a
like
transplant.
everything else was all
I think for
like
consistency
Well, what I'm saying as far
purposes,
as
they
like
didn't.
as far as like being written is concerned, like if the stuff that they did after the post Loki versus Thor or Loki versus Hulk, when like they did shit
For consistency purposes, I'd say they probably didn't.
yeah,
Like the
because that's what it felt.
the
That's what it
singing
really
and
felt
dancing
like.
scene, probably not.
Yeah, that's what it really felt like.
They probably did their best to mimic it.
Yeah.
But for consistency shot, like within the movie itself,
Yeah.
it's probably all like new footage.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that
At least
makes
that's
sense.
how I would do it.
Yeah,
So
I honestly forgot that, like, so they go back in the past, and when they go back to the past, when they go back to the future,
Oh my god.
yeah, they, it's
Future
like
ain't what it
5,
used to be.
yeah, it's like 5 seconds. I
Back to the
completely
Future's
forgot
just a
about
load of
that.
bullshit.
So, like, when, like, oh my god, I can't think of his name. War Machine, right? That,
Yeah.
That's the superhero. name.
Yeah. He like goes back to the future, and Nebula's just like, "Oh wait, hold on," and I'm like, "They're gonna know that she didn't go back," and then I'm like, "Wait, I'm an idiot. Never mind." Like,
Everybody
Little bit
trusted Nebula too much.
yeah, even in the beginning, like she's
Yeah,
just
that's true.
very like,
Well, there was that whole
Awkward?
scene with her and Tony Stark.
I think she's always super awkward, and she did spend like a
5
month.
years.
Well, 5 years. Well, a month with Tony
No,
Stark, and
yeah,
then 5 years with
5
everybody
years
else.
with everybody,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah. There's that scene
close
with
to a month,
her and
yeah.
Tony Stark in the beginning.
3 weeks.
They did a good job not spoiling much in like the trailers and kind of like hinting at certain things at different places.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the one trailer that was like, because there were rumors about time travel the whole time, but I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I thought it was like 50-50. But the trailer that was just like black and white scenes from the past
mhm.
movies was like pretty well done in retrospect, considering they visited a bunch of the
But my
movies.
point
Yeah.
about Captain America cucking himself. We saw in the middle of the movie that there were duplicates of each character in that timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end, when Captain America goes back to whatever fucking time to go marry the woman he loved back in the 40s,
Yeah.
he's living in the 40s and presumably through. Is the other Captain America in the ice?
Yeah.
So eventually he would unthaw, or they're just gonna leave him out there.
Well, that's
So
also a different-
eventually,
That's another thing I don't get.
Is
Because
she
Yeah,
gonna
it does-
unthaw Captain America?
it does
in the
paradox
future?
stuff. Because like while that was happening, like IRL Cap would have been, or like the old Cap, the one who's aged, would have
Yeah.
been like sitting on his couch watching the news, being like, "Look at me."
Well,
I
like,
remember that.
Yeah, well, that's like theoretically, they thought him out before the end of this movie, chronologically.
Yeah.
So there should have
Yeah,
been
there's
two
times
Captain
where
Americas.
Captain America's just watching himself on TV when he's like 80.
See, that's
but
the
there
thing.
not though.
See, that's where time.
There is, you just don't see it.
That's where
but
time
he should
travel.
be there though, theoretically, right?
No, I get what you're
This
saying.
is where it starts to get
Like,
kind of fucky.
That's,
to me.
that's where time travel does get fucky because that implies, like, the movie itself
Yeah,
implied that there was different strings of time.
because at what point do
that
those
each-
two Captain Americas converge into the things that they were doing in
That's where
to get to the point where he was old.
see. That's where I get confused because
Where do they get to the point where he goes back in time?
No, I
Oh
totally
no,
get
in the
there's a
events of
huge
this
problem
movie.
with that because they kill Thanos before he can get the Infinity Stones.
So that
by
never,
the end of it.
So where the
So
fuck
there'd
is
have to be a
Cap-
different timeline,
where
even
is
though
new
they
Captain
they
America?
did a really good job of setting up to be like, no, there's only this one timeline, and
But,
we can
like-
fix it and bring things back, and
But
everything
they
will be okay.
also, this movie also implied that each timeline was a different dimension unto itself. So technically, they shouldn't have even seen Captain America at the end, since he went to a different timeline.
No, it's only a different
No.
timeline if Infinity Stone
if
leaves.
something like doesn't like if the one of the Infinity Stones don't come
that's
back.
right.
So they created one that branched off
Yeah.
until Cap went back
Yeah.
and went
But it didn't matter because
Yeah.
you couldn't have the problems you rectified if you killed Thanos 9 years before he snapped.
I know. So what the
With
fuck?
like, they did
Also-
such a good job of like setting up to be like, we're not going to fuck up the timeline, and then they just fucked up the timeline.
Yeah.
Just
Also,
fucked it up.
one thing I thought about throughout the entire movie, didn't they just have to destroy one of the Infinity Stones so Thanos wouldn't?
But it took
have-
all of them to destroy all of them, I think, is an idea.
Well, I thought about that too, but it was just like it would have been so much simpler to just go after one of them.
Well, the idea was that they all have to be back, otherwise they doomed the timeline they took it from.
Oh, okay.
That was the whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
Was the
yeah,
lady
I
explained-
realize that's
like
what
if
you're
you take one of these stones and you don't give them back,
Yeah.
we're saving your timeline, but you're fucking us to like not only Thanos,
Yup.
but every
Gotcha.
fucking
I guess
problem
there
ever.
still would have to be different timelines,
Yeah.
even though the lady was like, oh, if you bring it back, it's fine. Because, like, there still have to be, or else it doesn't make any sense. Because they did
No.
kill Thanos.
Time travel, ladies and gentlemen, is a terrible
Yeah,
fucking story
it's-
plot. Use it sparingly.
Yeah.
you gotta really like plan things out and all that stuff.
hmm And you're still gonna have fucking paradoxes. There's just no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way. You just the problem with the time travels. It asks you to suspend a lot of disbelief.
Yeah.
For this movie, I am willing to do that because Captain America lived
no.
a long and healthy and happy life.
No, I'm fine with it, I guess. Because, like, once they established there was going to be time travel, and they at least,
We know what we're getting into.
yeah, they at least tried.
There's just gonna be a lot of stuff we're just gonna have to forgive.
Yeah. Like, Nebula shooting herself in the chest is probably the worst part.
It is the worst because I was like, oh, now she's gonna fade away into existence. And
Yeah,
I was
nothing
I was like,
happened.
It's like
and I was like, no, she
in
didn't
the
though.
way the movie set that up, it was like they were expecting the audience to think that because there was a very, very dramatic pause there.
Or they just wanted you to be like,
And Gamora's doing her own thing apparently now.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
the,
because she
the
never
Guardians
Is
got
that
kind of shafted in this movie
because true.
Yeah, definitely. Well, when you only have two of them, I guess.
they
And-
barely did.
Also-
anything.
And one
Rocket
being-
got some stuff. But
yeah.
it's true, actually. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of them.
Rocket got some stuff, but like
Yeah.
Drax, Quill,
No, I'd say
girl with antennas, because I don't remember her name.
Mantis.
Mantis.
Mantis. Well,
The,
Rocket
uh,
didn't remember her name.
Yeah, even though he called her family. No, but it was like by far the most blue girl that we've seen.
Nebula, yeah.
Nebula, yeah. I only watched her for
The-
3 hours today.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the pacing was pretty fantastic
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't feel like 3
for a
hours.
3-hour film.
There was like
Definitely.
only one time where I was like, I wonder what time it is, which is usually a good sign for a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I really like I guess again you can make the argument that it didn't need to be 3 hours, but for me personally, I'm cool with it.
I liked all of it.
I'm definitely like I you could say that maybe this
Oh.
scene or that scene, but like I would keep it all.
Another like time travel plot hole is fucking Peter Parker. Are we gonna get into like the very end spoilers like
Sure,
after?
yeah. I mean we already
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about that.
All right.
Yeah, we've gotten into all the spoilers. Might as well
driving
just
No,
go.
like-
Let's-
Peter Parker comes back 5 years later and then goes back to high school and is hugging like his best friend from high school still, who presumably wasn't dead, or I guess like
yeah, I assume he made it.
yeah.
Okay.
What?
What point are you trying to bring up, though?
What?
What point are you trying to bring up, though?
I can't read what you wrote on the screen.
Oh, that's not important.
Yeah.
Okay. No, just like it would be. It's hopefully something they have to deal with in like the upcoming movies is that everybody's 5 years older than the people who got snapped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually.
Everybody's still around.
time travel.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, worse things have happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Captain Marvel then, right? Because that's a big contention point.
So, I.
Yeah,
Here's
well,
the
you know,
thing.
it's a woman in movies, so
Hi.
of course, we got to talk about it.
Hi, I'm here.
Here-
Hi, I'm gone. Oh, hi, I'm back.
Yeah,
15
whatever.
minutes of screen time, everybody. 15.
This is why I was asking if the Russos wrote the script. she just seemed not like they
There's
didn't know
some-
what to do
there's-
with her.
So
Like she's
she
strong.
was by far, I think, one of the weakest things because when she came in and she just fucking obliterated Thanos' ship, I was just kind of like, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like,
basically
I-
what she does in her own movie.
Right, but like I feel like the build up and like the real love for the character wasn't even possible in the time they gave it.
well, I mean, if you watch the own movie, you'd be like, oh, right, she's coming back.
Even
to
if Brie
help.
Larson was like not giving a completely like
she
blah
did.
performance.
Yeah, she actually did feel a lot different from then
The movie. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
I haven't seen the actual standalone movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
It was-
no, Captain Marvel was good. And she definitely stood out as a character in that movie. And it was just, and I'm not sure if it was only because she had so little screen time in Endgame.
it didn't help, but
But-
like what she did.
Yeah,
have
they
was
handled
great.
her oddly.
Yeah,
Did
that's
it-
why I say I don't think they knew what to do with her because like
Wasn't she having issues with like the rest of the cast or something?
She was
too?
effectively the fucking Deus Ex Machina for the movie. Like,
Barely, though.
but she just came in and solved a problem, and then came in and solved a problem, and then came in and solved a problem.
no,
Yeah.
she only solved the one, right?
She solved
Well-
the Iron Man in space problem. She solved
Okay, we knew that was going to happen, though. I
right,
feel
but
like.
she,
Yeah.
that's how that was, and then she fucked off and
Right.
did whatever she does, and
Well, she's like kind of the police for like.
did
the
we
rest of
haven't
the
seen
galaxy.
at 3 hours of this movie, and we saw none of that.
Well, we saw it in her own movie.
I guess, but like
Yeah.
we also saw what the rest of them were doing. They all have like several other movies.
Well, right. She just.
I don't know.
She's not like part of
she
the.
comes in and fucks off at random. Like,
She's
boys,
not
it
an
didn't do
Avenger,
it for
man.
me.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of also wish in that regard, I also kind of wish that Black Panther had a little more of a presence in the movie as well.
that's how I felt about Bucky and Captain America in the last one. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Black Panther died.
oh yeah, basically
But for
we
the
haven't
role-
explained this. So after they get the Infinity Stones, they unsnap the snap, and everyone comes back to life. And then there's this
Oh,
big
boy, do
final
they.
battle,
Boy, do
and
they.
Doctor
Yeah.
Strange basically teleports everybody.
I
who's
almost cried
going
when
to fight.
Spider-Man came back.
Yeah,
Yo, that's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
But,
are we
sorry,
still on
continue.
Captain Marvel?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's really like
I was
like,
just bringing
it's
up
tough
the-
to talk about. Like, what is there to talk about with Captain Marvel in this movie?
Yeah.
honestly?
There's,
No, she really didn't have that big of a hand. She
Yeah.
Oh, And
saved the
as-
day ish once, but like it's the
especially
kind of
for
thing
a
where it's
lead up
like
though.
they
What?
could have just used a different character to do it, but like whatever, she saved the day. a couple
I
times.
feel like they could have just done this character like in the next phase, and like that would have been it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a
'Cause-
much better place for her.
Because at the end of Infinity Wars, it
Because
was like,
even if they
oh,
added
Captain
her-
Marvel's coming back,
Yeah.
Even
and
if
it's
they had
like
two movies
oh.
for her before the last one.
yeah.
Just one movie before the big one. It just doesn't. It's placement wise, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it was a cash grab, but like just the fact that they had
it's
to.
weird. It's a weird
Yeah,
decision.
they had to make it the continuity between obviously
it was
Infinity
a
Wars
really
and-
weird decision, and then it was a prequel to literally all of the movies.
didn't
Except
really
for-
touch on any of them though.
It only
Yeah,
really,
except for Captain America: First Avengers. Never mind.
yeah.
Well,
But-
no, honestly, in that regard, well, I was gonna say Wonder Woman. Captain Marvel was its own movie in of itself,
Yeah.
Yes.
like completely with like
It
one,
didn't. It had Nick Fury, as far as I'm aware.
yeah, and it also had Ronan.
Yeah,
Oh, the Guardians guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
for like half a minute, but other than that,
And
like,
it was the same actor amazingly.
yeah. It
Did
didn't
not look like him.
yeah, I didn't believe that either.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like she would have benefited from another movie before she got to Endgame.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Just because of what she did in Endgame or what she didn't do
She would
in
have benefited from another movie.
Endgame, I guess.
Because I just think one movie in right before the big finale movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
After-
she didn't
right
do it.
after
yeah,
Infinity War.
a month after.
And then right
Yeah.
after Infinity War, like that, and then to have just her origin story, it's gonna fall flat no matter what.
Yeah.
But
But also, I don't know what Marvel / Disney's planning, but I'm surprised there wasn't any other like type of reveal for what they're planning on to do next.
Well, they have Spider-Man. Spider-Man's
Well,
next
I mean-
movie.
Spider-Man,
Oh, true.
we all know that Captain Marvel's supposed to usher in this new phase, apparently.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Thor. I mean, they didn't write anybody else except for Stark and Captain
Evans.
America. So
Well, Black Widow, she's still dead.
she
too.
got right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got written up.
The,
But I mean, she doesn't have her own standalone movie yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to do
Yes.
the
So
Hulk
yeah,
from
now
here on.
she
I think
does. But sorry, what?
Hulk will be hard to do from here on. I think. Like think about like the old, like the original guys.
Yeah, the original guys are going to be tough to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even
But, like,
the
they're so-
youngest
they're
of them,
so-
I think, is Chris Hemsworth, and he's
Yeah.
35.
Like they're
Thor's
so
fat, Hulk's smart.
I don't think he's gonna stay fat
No,
unless
no,
he goes
definitely
unless he
not.
just goes full Odin from here on out.
Which I'd be
is
fine
true.
with.
Yeah, because
But I respect the fact that they left that open ended as to what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with the ushering in the new age, Captain America hangs up his shield and gives it to Falcon. Actually,
I was completely.
We skipped over Bucky.
yeah.
That apparently happens first, I think.
Yep.
I mean, but like Falcon is from the comic books who gets it.
No,
right?
but Bucky gets it in the comics at some point.
Does he too?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
He uses guns.
They're apparently getting their own movie.
Falcon and Bucky.
No, Falcon and Bucky are getting their own series apparently
Oh, that's what it is.
on
Yeah,
Disney
okay.
Plus, from what I heard.
Really?
That's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, that was
Fine
so
with me.
strange though, because like
Is he Falcon anymore, or is he Captain
Falcon. But yeah, it was still strange because
Adamantium punch.
when old Captain America shows up, Bucky's like, "Go on, Falcon,
No,
you take it."
No, Bucky knew from the moment that Cap said goodbye to him, he wasn't.
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
back.
you
Yeah.
can see on his face.
He-
It was
that's
good
why he
acting.
said
And
we're
they
gonna.
and they made
That's why he said we're gonna miss you.
Very
Because I was thinking to myself, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
when
Why would he miss him? He's coming
But
right
even
back.
when
No,
it turned to the
like-
shot of Mark Ruffalo with him like fucking with it, even before Captain America left, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I knew
no.
it when Bucky was like, "We're gonna miss you," and he's like, "He'll just be gone like 5 seconds." I mean, I was like, "Oh no, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
He's
gone."
not coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just strange.
I thought we were going to
not
turn around and he was
Bucky
just going to be
getting it.
buried there. I didn't even think we were going to get the old man sitting at the fucking bench. I thought we were going to say, here lies Steve Rogers.
That'd be so cruel. He's just like, "All right, when I die, I want to be buried right in this spot.
Don't
Why?"
fuck this up. Then you just see it like boop, into existence.
What's this mini mall doing here?
See, I was under the impression that Thanos or Captain America was gonna die against fighting Thanos. And
I think we were
I
all
actually don't
kind of
think so.
expecting Captain America.
I didn't
Yeah.
think that actually.
Like I did not think that was gonna go down the way it did, even with Tony Stark dying. I was like, wait, what? No.
I was hoping. I was
thought-
hoping. I knew that it wasn't going to happen because it wouldn't carry anywhere near as much brevity.
I thought
But I thought he was going to be alive at the end because he was speaking.
I
And
thought-
I was like, please.
Yeah.
Oh, Iron Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But part of me was like, just please.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, that was very.
I thought two
that
of the
ripped my
original
heart
dudes were
out.
gonna die, and then like one would retire.
The cheeseburger
Which
fucking
kind
line.
of happened, but
The cheeseburger line with the guy.
Oh yeah.
I forget his name.
Happy.
Happy, right.
Yeah.
He actually directed the first Iron Man.
you did, yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh wow.
But
John Favreau.
John Favreau, yeah.
Yeah.
When he sits down with Iron Man's daughter and he starts asking him, like when the whole cheeseburger thing comes
Yeah.
up, that again, I almost fucking lost my shit. I was like, I gotta have some fucking self-respect by the end of this goddamn movie. You gotta stop with this shit.
yeah.
The thing,
It got me the moment Tony Stark died. I was like,
I was keeping it together. I was unhappy. I was keeping it together, but I almost fucking bawled when I heard with the cheeseburger thing. When it's like your father
Yeah.
liked cheeseburgers too, and I was like, why is this the thing?
It
That's
was.
getting
I
me?
think for me, it was right after that where I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh God,
Get
no!
you all the cheeseburgers you
oh,
want.
oh God, no!"
it was definitely
Also-
hard to watch. Spider-Man dying was way worse for me, for sure. Even though like I knew he'd be back.
Spider-Man was rough.
Spider-Man dying for me actually wasn't as bad because like I felt like I knew it was gonna happen. Like I knew in the way I guess it was portrayed. I don't know. Maybe I didn't pay attention
the
to it
way
enough.
It was portrayed is
No.
what
But it was
killed
just
me.
like, all right, this is
Yeah.
gonna happen.
the anxiety, the panic attack. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, that was fucking hard to watch.
And like
The
and
clinging
that-
for life.
and
like,
that comes full circle when you see him interact with Tony Stark in the movie.
Oh, yeah, again.
after he comes back,
that was an
Yeah.
emotional
Then
part for
Tony Stark. He's
Yeah.
just fucking
super emotional.
yeah.
Maybe they're Highlanders, and there can
Maybe.
only be one.
Maybe they are Islanders.
Yeah.
okay, so actually
Also,
speaking
Tony
of
Stark's
this,
funnel. Like I know it's
Would've
not
been
a big
so much
deal.
bigger. It would have been so much bigger in real life.
Groot should have wore clothes. I felt like.
They should have
Groot
found
was
him.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember him there.
they were all standing in their groups. He was with the other Guardians, but yeah, like it was just weird that he was naked, and it like he's always naked. It shouldn't have been weird. It just felt weird that he was
Show some
naked.
respect, Groot.
I guess. Like,
A man died here.
So did you guys notice that one like teenager who was kind of towards
Yeah,
the-
what the fuck was
Who
that?
the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
Tony
to like.
Stark's bastard.
I thought maybe for a second that was actually Peter Parker, but I was like, he's too tall. And like,
no,
the
he
hair-
was right in the beginning.
Wasn't that?
What at the beginning? What are you talking about?
He was like the second wave of people when they went by.
Behind,
Oh yeah,
I
Peter
thought
Parker
that was
yeah.
Clint's family.
No, his
No,
family
it was just
off-
one teenager.
This
Also-
one guy was off to the right. This
Other
one
side point,
teenager-looking kid was
did-
off to the right. Clint was over here with his family, and the kid was
I'm
over
trying
here.
to remember. Shit.
did Hawkeye have an Asian son?
Yeah, that.
I didn't notice. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I did not notice.
it looked a little strange.
Maybe they.
Although
adopted
thinking
him.
about it,
I don't
It
know.
wasn't Japan there.
I
oh my god, you're right.
No, but the kid would be way too old for that. But no, the
yeah, with all the time traveling, for all we know,
Oh, who
everyone's
knows, yeah. But yeah, that was strange. And also, I don't know who that one teenage kid was.
Yeah,
I know that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to look up right now.
I just kind of was just like, okay, did
Uh,
I miss something? Maybe the Marvel movie, maybe Captain Marvel. I don't know. I'm glad you guys caught that too.
Yeah.
Are there articles being written about this? About
Yeah,
the-
people
the-
are
the lone
asking.
child?
I don't. Nobody seems to have an answer. Oh wait, hold on. The character is Harley Keener.
Oh, Harley Keener. You guys remember?
oh, it's the kid who helps him out in Iron Man 3 who like.
Oh, he got so old.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, the
Oh.
thing he crashes into.
I,
Yeah,
I barely
that makes
remember.
sense now.
I barely remember. Iron
I
Man
would
3.
not have known that. He doesn't look like that kid at all.
I barely
It was
remember.
nice. It's a nice callback though.
I sure is.
It's
yeah.
like it's a shame you had to like everybody's going to have to Google
Everyone's
it.
gonna
Yeah.
have to look it up.
Yeah, that like
I
it-
barely remember Iron Man
They could've
3
just left
because it
it
was
out.
that terrible.
It
And
wasn't
to
the
be
best.
and to be fair, none of the Iron Man movies were actually really that good.
Hey,
One was pretty good.
One was
Eh,
good.
one was alright.
One was good enough to kick off a whole
I
fucking.
still think 2 is better.
Which
You
one
said
was
none
two?
of them are that good, and you thought 2 was better than 1.
Yep.
Which one was 2?
2 was
With
fuck.
Was that the
Electric Whip.
Mandarin or was that 3?
Nah,
That's 3.
Mandarin's
Man,
three.
2 is
Electric Whip guy.
fucking the Indy 500 in Monaco, which
Yeah.
isn't the Indy
Yeah,
500.
but War
but-
Machine gets introduced to that, and he cuts a robot guy in half with bullets. So you're just wrong.
I mean,
Like Tony's just there with his fucking lasers, and then War Machine just goes down the line with bullets, and it's great. And then there was the time that
anything
he had to
else?
wrestle War Machine's fucking Gatling gun like it was a snake.
Anything else we have to cover?
Sound design in that movie was fantastic.
I didn't
What, the
notice.
second one or the first one?
Second one, because at the end,
Oh,
Tony
I
Stark
don't know.
lands.
You're
And
still
he's like, I
talking
think
about that.
everything worked out pretty all right to Pepper Potts or whatever, and you just hear lid like so small in the background, just an explosion.
Yeah.
Anything else?
For Endgame?
Yeah.
Before I have to go to the bathroom? The green dude who's big in Thanos' army, Ant-Man also stomps on him, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Green guy?
The big guy who loses his
He
hand.
looks
He's
kind of like
green?
Killer Croc. He has
Oh.
like the hammer axe thing.
Yeah,
not
I,
Hulk.
yeah. I know who you're talking about. I
Totally
didn't think
not
he was green, but
Hulk.
yeah, whatever. Yeah,
I don't know.
Ant-Man also saves Rocket Raccoon and the Hulk from a
I want a
collapsing
separate
building.
video of Tyler just listing all the significant things Ant-Man's done. In
It was Ant-Man's idea to time travel, time heist.
What was? Wait, did you ever go over the GIF that you saw?
Okay, yeah. So
we brought it up.
I saw one of those
But
those.
we
No, we don't
what
know
it
the
is.
specifics. I don't even know the
spoiler
specifics.
gifs.
Yeah.
It's odd. It was a really. It has to be a really good fake because it's not how it ended. I thought how it would be how it ended because it was just a second worth of like mid-tier level like gift quality of
Yeah.
like Tony Stark with the gauntlet, not the one he made, the like actual
really?
one.
Oh, okay.
And Thanos is all wrapped up in metal like Thor was, and he like does a, and then it's like so it's just it flashes that and it goes spoiled, and I was like fuck because I didn't want to look back and if I looked again I probably
actually
would
really
have seen
good
it as a
then.
really good fake, but because I didn't want to look again and be 100% sure that I got spoiled,
Yeah.
I didn't look at it again. But after seeing it end, I was like. It's not, that wasn't a spoiler, but they got it really close to
Yeah.
how it happened.
Maybe it was an alternate scene.
Yeah, I think overall, like I said before, this movie had a hell of a job of ending an era in the cinematic universe.
I think, to
Yeah,
be fair,
definitely.
I think both movies had a hell of a job to ending an era
Yeah,
in the
they were
cinematic
both very
universe.
good.
Sure, yeah. But I mean, but like this was the end of it.
Yeah.
Like this was the finale. And like you said, endings are hard to do. Satisfying endings are
Yeah.
even tougher.
I mean, you said it yourself. Like, Infinity War really is our generation's Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. So like,
And then
I mean,
this-
and
this
many
kinda
other
like-
people have said that as well. But like,
Yeah.
this is the thing that ends it. And like, you got to think about how many things could have gone horribly wrong here.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So for them to have like stuck the landing, you know, I think that that's all I wanted from this.
Yeah.
And I think they did that fantastically.
Yeah.
I think they wrapped everything up great. And I think that like this really can now shine, like, you know, with its ups and downs for like the cinematic achievement that this 10-year multi-story, multi-universe, like, you know, cinematic storytelling experience was. So overall, I'm very, very happy with this movie.
I'm looking forward to sharing like this whole movie series with my future nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
And well, that was the thing. Like the kid was telling us, like there was that kid at the end of when the movies was the credits were rolling and stuff, and there was that like, you know, 13 to 15-year-old kid.
What, like sitting with us?
Well, like down at the end of the aisle, and he was
I
like,
thought you were talking about in the movie.
He wasn't in the movie, but he was saying like there's no after credits. There's no after credits. He kept saying that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like I was like, kid, you don't get it. I was like, what? You were like 5 at most when these movies started.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, you don't get it. Like this is it. This is the end of an era. Like so, even if there's nothing at the end of this,
you're still fucking.
I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna collect myself.
Yeah.
I didn't. I had to go to the bathroom.
Yo,
And
I had
even
to go to
then,
the bathroom like a third.
They had the little signatures at the end with the characters.
Yeah,
I saw that.
That was cool.
pretty
That was
cool.
actually cool.
And then,
Little
like,
like Mahos.
They put Hawkeye up, and I was like, why is Hawkeye? And they kept doing it. I was like, oh, Hawkeye's haircut, by the way. Holy shit. Holy shit. Anyway.
You know what's really weird is Thor actually got his haircut by some fucking old man with his fucking nonsense machine, and it still came out better looking.
Lightning struck him and it braided his beard.
But fucking
That's
Hawkeye
not a joke. That's exactly what
goes
happened.
all over the world, could have anybody cut his hair, and that's the haircut he's got.
All right. Any other final thoughts before
No,
we
I just,
end
like I
this?
said, fantastic landing.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Actually,
job.
I want to watch Infinity War, and I want to go and see this movie again, probably in like another week or
absolutely,
two.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I definitely want to see it back to back. And
Yeah.
just
Wait till it's
experience.
Not so much back to back, but like I guess like I don't know, Infinity War during the week, and then at the end of the week, go see this again. And then that's when we'll do another podcast.
I guess so.
When all of our opinions change and we hate it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know.
Cool.
All right.
All right, I gotta
That's
pee.
it.
Yeah, the sharks are on.
Yeah.